so people at shows will come up to me and like, you saved me, your life saved me. But to me, like, I feel like I have a million times over been saved by, the audience and the listeners and the conversations.
Hey there, welcome to Rave Culture Cast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more, hosted by me, Emma Capotis. Each week, I'll be covering everything from dance music culture, industry news, trending topics, and festival tips, advice, and reviews. You can also expect to hear stories from ravers, artists, business owners, and more. Tune in every Wednesday for your weekly dose of peace, love, unity, and respect. Hey guys, welcome back to Rave Culture Cast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. I am your host, Emma Capotis. Happy Wednesday, fam. How are we all feeling? I can't even stress to you how excited I am for the next few episodes. Spoiler alert, we've got a lot of artists coming out, guys. I didn't mean for it to happen this way, but I have been having the time of my life recording these interviews, and it's been so amazing. So I hope you guys are all hype for what's to come. Today is no different. I'm gonna tease our artists in just a second, but quick recap on what's been going on. I'm a little tired today. I had a huge show in the city this weekend, so I was at is this my third Elro show? My second in New York, but Elro was here for their North American tour. They were playing at Avant Gardner, and it was all things house music and confetti and all of the amazing things that Elro is. And I got to work this event with my company, the Gray Area that I work for, and it was just like iconic. I will never get sick of it. It's the best time ever. So I am going to have a vlog coming out from that show, but again, the raspy voice is back because we just are going to shows nonstop and it's ridiculous. So that's what I got up to this past weekend. What else is going on? Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. It's crazy right now because the holidays are coming up. So there's a lot of things happening, but to be honest with you, I'm in like full-blown wedding planning mode because I'm getting married in January. So that's a lot. Like a lot of things are happening. It's all really, really exciting, but that's picking up a lot. And then, yeah, I have a lot of like life updates for you guys. I'm also going to be getting a puppy very soon. So I believe we're picking them up like early to mid-February, but that's a really big life event that's going to be happening as well. So many things this month, next month, February, like it's going to be crazy, but we've got plenty of shows and really exciting stuff coming up for you. So that's kind of like behind the scenes what's been going on. It's been a lot. It's been really crazy. I've been a little stressed out, but being here and doing the job that I do like makes everything better. So I'm so excited that I get to do this. All right. Before I jump into today's interview, really quickly I want to talk about a few things. So if any of you guys need tickets to any of the following shows, I have an affiliate link with Insomniac. So Okeechobee is the next one. I have Beyond Wonderland SoCal, and I have EDC Las Vegas 2022. So if you guys need any tickets to those shows, I've got you. I will put a link down below in the show notes. If you want to buy your tickets through a friend, it directly supports me. So thank you guys so much for doing that. What else? This is the last call for submissions for the final episode of the year, which is my best of EDM, my best of dance music. So if you guys want to submit, I have a post up in the Facebook group, or you can send me an email to raveculturecast@gmail.com. You guys can feel free to leave a voice memo as well. If you just want to quickly record a voice memo, that works as well. We'll put that in the podcast. So I want to know your favorite artist, album, collaboration, track, and new artist for 2021. Those are all the things. So get your submissions in. I can't wait to work on that episode. I love doing it every year. So that's what's going on this week. And then lastly, my music recommendation. So this week I have another set recommendation for you guys. I've watched this set twice now and I absolutely love it, but highly recommend checking out Sophie Tucker's Firefly set. They uploaded it to their YouTube channel and it's so fucking good. It's one of their live sets. So Sophie sings and plays instruments and Tucker sings and it's so fun. So that is up on their YouTube channel. Highly recommend checking it out if you guys just want something like fun and upbeat and it just puts you in a good mood. So I've been loving that. And I think that's it for announcements today. I'm going to dive right into the episode here. So today I'm incredibly honored to have an amazing singer, songwriter, mental health advocate who goes by Elohim. She's incredible and she's such a sweet human being. She had the best energy. It was so lovely speaking with her and meeting with her. I love her music. I'm really, really excited about the new EP that she just dropped. So definitely go check it out and support it. But yeah, I'm so excited to share her story. She really, really is a very vulnerable artist. She's extremely creative, and you can just tell that from speaking with her. So she's going to talk all about like her upbringing and how she got into music and then how that transferred into becoming a musician and an artist. And she does deal with severe anxiety and panic attack disorder, I believe. So she had a really tough time, getting on stage and performing and dealing with that. So she shares a lot about that. And we do speak about mental health. So her message is extremely important. And I'm so honored to have her on the podcast to share it. So please go show Elohim some love and support. I'm going to have all her links down below. And with all that being said, please join me in welcoming her to the podcast. I just want to say, so excited to have you on the podcast today. So excited for your music coming out that they shared with me. It sounds amazing. And today I really want to the floor is yours. I just want to hear your story and chat about your music. And
Cool.
I know you're a mental health advocate as well. So I would absolutely love to touch on that because that's a huge, huge thing right now, especially with this season. So that's kind of where we're going today, if that all sounds good.
That sounds great. I can't wait. Thank you so much
Awesome.
for having me. I feel honored to be speaking with you.
Oh, cool. Okay. So let's just dive right into things, guys. So today I'm joined by mega talented singer, songwriter, musician, DJ, director, mental health advocate. She does it all. Please welcome Elohim to the podcast.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. I know you're coming off of a busy weekend. You were just at Ember Shores, right?
Yes.
Where was that? Mexico?
Yeah, I was in Cancun. Yeah.
How did that go?
It was awesome. So this was actually my first DJ set. So the first kind of proper DJ set. And I'd been just practicing and rehearsing because during the pandemic I was like, I should really learn how to DJ. I get asked to do kind of DJ stuff all the time, and my show is takes so much preparation and checking 9 huge cases of gear and taking 6 guys with me to help.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. I was like, I feel like I'm missing opportunities and I have to say no to things because it is so much work for me to take my whole rig. And sometimes it just doesn't make sense if it's, a one night kind of fly-in sort of thing. So sure. Yeah, it was awesome. And I'm excited. It was really cool.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I know you dive into a whole bunch of different things. So it must be fun too, just to experiment and test out different formats and see what feels good to you.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was making so much music during the pandemic. It was kind of all I had to do, and as artists, we don't usually, the one thing we never have is time. And the one thing we had was so much time over the last almost 2 years, which is so weird. And I went from a crazy tour schedule, shows every single night, and it just stopped. And so at first I was really kind of went into a bit of a depression, which for me, usually I'm more on the side of anxiety and panic disorder, but I was so down. And so it has been nice to kind of find these other avenues and explore.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, especially for you having that much downtime, I was going to say prior to that, how often were you at home? It's hard, right? You're probably always traveling.
Always traveling.
Yeah.
And if it's not a proper tour, it's something every weekend, or maybe you have a week at home and you're always kind of packing for the next trip.
Right.
And you never really feel settled because that even if you start a tour in a month, it's okay, I've got to be prepping and packing and getting everything. There's so much goes into putting on live shows. So yeah, this is definitely the longest amount of time that I've been in my house.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, It's nice, like in some ways, because like I don't know if this happened to you. It kind of made me more like I love going out. I'm at 4 shows probably like the next few
So
weeks
cool.
at Avant Gardner, but it kind of has made me like a little bit of a homebody as well. Like I miss being at home now when I'm traveling,
Me
but
too. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I've been having every time I do travel now, sometimes are easier than others. And then, some of them I really like when I went to do Lollapalooza, that was my first show back. And
mm-hmm.
I was doing a headlining show in Chicago, Lollapalooza, 5 p.m. set time. Like it was amazing. And then
Yeah,
Hard Summer, and then like a bunch of press in between. And it felt like my first shows. Like I had so much anxiety and panic because
yeah,
for me, home is my safe place and I had to work really hard to be able to get on an airplane, be around
mm-hmm.
people, do shows, get on stage and actually be comfortable and not like go into these panic fits every time I try to do one of those things
Mm-hmm.
that, could be somewhat easy for someone else.
Right.
So I was very scared actually when the pandemic started because I was like, gosh, I've worked so hard to be able to be out on the road and be comfortable and like functioning this way and actually
Mm-hmm.
be thriving. And exactly what I thought would happen and kind of even worse happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I went, to travel and fly and my first flight in a year and a half. And it
Yeah.
definitely all of the like first time anxiety came back for sure.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. Well, I hope like we're going to chat a little bit more later today too, just like how you've worked through all that and helped yourself heal with everything. Cause I'm sure there's a lot of people listening who probably deal with like very similar feelings of
Yeah.
anxiety and it's amazing that you get on stage and do all these performances because so many people are so happy to see you. So I'm
Oh,
glad you're working through it.
thank
And
you.
hopefully next year too, we're back to somewhat of a normal schedule and we'll have a full year of like shows and festivals, which will feel nice.
Yeah.
But I'd love to kind of like start back in the beginning and just learn a little bit more about you and your upbringing. And I'm curious if like when you were a kid, were you somebody who was musical or was anybody in your family involved in music as well?
Yeah, so my dad was very, very passionate about guitar. And but I grew up very, very humble beginnings, very,
Mm-hmm.
very humble. And but the one thing my parents always made sure of was that our artistic um, you know, endeavors and like what we wanted to do as far as art were fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
So, we didn't have much of anything, but like the one thing I did have was like piano lessons, and who I don't know how much they cost. It'd be interesting to know. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they could have been that much, but that was like, they would save money up so that we could, because I mean we were living check to check and
Mm-hmm.
um like I always remember going to the grocery store with my mom and going to Trader Joe's and she would be like, I'd be like, oh, can we get this? And she'd be like, we'll have to wait until
Mm-hmm.
I get my next paycheck. And, a lot of people do live like that. But the one thing that I really admire about my parents is that they fed our creativity and our
Yeah.
artistic sides of our brain and made that a very important part of our lives. So, yeah, so I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it was always music. And at a young age, I think I was 5, my brother played guitar, so I was like, I want to play piano, like it's
Yeah.
girly, even though it's not.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so my dad, he worked at a music store, and they were getting rid of a piano, and they said, "We'll give it to you for $100." So I got that piano. It gives me chills because I actually bought the piano back because we had to give it away at one point.
Oh, wow.
Um, and I actually bought it back a few years ago.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it's all like chipped keys. But when I sat down at it for the first time after it's been, years, it was I got chills through my whole body and it felt like, cause I spent my whole childhood sitting at this $100 piano.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm gonna have to play this back for my mom. My mom's gonna be like, "We told you to stay in
Oh,
piano
I know. It's
lesson."
so funny because I remember all my teachers. Well, I only really had two like very important teachers. And I
Hmm.
remember my teachers would always say, you're so lucky that your parents forced you to practice because that's like, that's the one thing we wish we had growing up was like parents
Hmm.
that forced us to kind of pursue it and practice. But my parents were very adamant. If you wanted to start something, whether it was a sport or an art, you had to go all the way and like get really good at it. You couldn't just like flip
Nice.
flop and try another thing. So it
Wow.
worked. I hated
Wow.
it when I was a kid, but
Right. It's always that way, but that's good. That's amazing that you stuck with it
Yeah.
and you got to buy that back. That's super special. And so did that sort of like continue into high school for you? Like, were you interested in singing at all, or like how did that develop for you?
Yeah, I was and I wasn't. Like, to me, it wasn't really like cool to play piano in my eyes, which, just
Mhm.
like I did karate as well. And to me, like, I got my black belt and I quit because it wasn't cool, and it's so stupid. Like, I wish
Right.
I had get stuck with it and, be this crazy crazy ninja right now.
Yeah, we're adding black belt onto the
I
top of the list
know,
there.
but I was
Yeah.
11, like, it's
Yeah.
so, but they were like, once you get your black belt, you can quit if you decide to. And I never went back the second I got it.
That's
So,
so funny. Yeah.
but now I'm like, damn it, like, I wish that I
Right.
had stayed doing it. But so I
Yeah.
didn't really think it was cool, which is so silly when you look back. But then it sort of became cool because I'd go to like friends' houses, and all my friends were really wealthy, and I was not. And they would have these, magnificent grand pianos at their house. And so the sort of party trick was they would be like, oh, she's going to sit down and play and sing a
Mm.
song for us. And then all of these like
Okay.
wealthy parents would stand around and watch me. And I think I thrived on that energy.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
I think I wanted to like keep performing after that.
Oh, that's so cool. Who were you listening to at that time? Who were you into?
um, Gosh, I'm trying to think. Well, a lot of stuff at home was like the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix. It was just like Steely Dan. My parents were always Pink Floyd. My mom was obsessed with Pink Floyd, so it was like a
Hmm.
lot of them playing, and a lot of old jazz records and stuff. So for
Nice.
me, and then I studied classical piano, so I'm trying to think like what I loved alternative music, which is funny. Like, I loved bands
Mm.
like Blink 182 and like Green Day and stuff
Yep.
like that too. But yeah, it was a lot more of like just old jazz music and stuff that I was
Wow.
surrounded by.
Nice. It's a nice mix though. That's a nice mix of
Yeah.
influences. I always say this, I feel like a lot of ravers are like fans of dance music now, where once emo or into
Oh
alternative
my gosh,
music.
yeah, it's so true. I loved alternative music, like The Used
Same.
and, bands like
Yes.
that. Thursday.
Oh my God. Wow. If it was, now it's, Electric Forest and all these festivals, but before that it was Warped Tour every
Yeah.
single summer,
Oh my gosh,
pretty
yeah.
much.
That was
Yeah.
one of my first shows I ever went to, was a Warp Tour in the summer, and I was so
Oh,
young.
nice.
I was like in 6th grade.
Wow. Well, and it was so nice back then too to see, because it was like similar to now with the dance music industry. It was like more rare to see like female lead singers in
Yeah.
these bands too. So like I was a Paramore
Oh my
stan.
gosh,
I absolutely
yeah.
love Haley.
Haley
Yeah.
is incredible.
It was so nice to see people like that on stage. So interesting how it's kind of similar, but I just always find that funny. I always ask people, I'm like, you were into alternative music, weren't you? A
It's
lot of artists
obvious.
sample it now too. They'll like have
I
these like
know. Oh
metal
my
metal
gosh.
singers on their tracks too.
It's
So there's
so
definitely,
cool.
yeah. Um, but no, so then when did it enter your realm, like that you wanted to potentially be in the music industry? Is that something you aspired to, or did that kind of come down the line later?
I think it was something I always wanted to do because I was always around music and that kind of like industry, and not on the level that I'm, in it now, but it was
Mhm.
still, like it was a normal thing that my dad's job was, playing guitar, like going and doing like small gigs or whatever. And so to me, it was just that was normal. No one else's parents that I like grew up with,
Mhm.
they all had very like, my dad's a doctor and lawyer and this and that,
Mhm.
so to me it was like doing music, that's normal, that's what you do, that's what you do when you grow up. So yeah, it I think I always kind of wanted to be in music, and I didn't realize how hard it was, obviously, until I got into it. And it,
Mhm.
it's just like continually a struggle, but also such a blessing at the same time. It's like, us artists, we always talk about how like, we fly and travel and do all this stuff for like those
Mhm.
1 hour on stage.
Right.
But then it makes
Right.
it all worth it, and that's why we keep doing it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think I always always wanted to be in music. And then I got a laptop and GarageBand and started really like experimenting with sampling stuff and more like electronic sounds. I remember like an older family friend introduced me to Radiohead, and those sounds was like, wow, there's beautiful melodies that are easy to follow over this really interesting music with very unique sounds. So that was very inspiring to me. And then hearing someone like Bjork singing, also beautiful melodies over really like intricate, crazy music, that was really, really inspiring to me.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, I mean, I have to ask you too. I'm just curious. What's your nationality? What's your background?
We actually just did 23andMe.
Oh, nice.
And I have a lot of actually it's weird because it says Sephardic Jewish, but I always thought that Jewish was a religion, but a lot of times when you get the 23andMe back, it says Jewish as sort of like a nationality, and Sephardic is Spain. And so I found out I'm from Turkey, Sweden, and Sephardic Jewish. What, I don't know. I guess kind of Spain, like Europe. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just curious because like you have such like a well-rounded like knowledge of music, but also inspiration from all different types of places too. So I'm just curious like where you're from as well. So that's awesome. Plus your features are stunningly beautiful, by the way.
Really? Oh
yes.
my gosh,
I'm like, what is it? I'm trying to figure out your
nice.
nationality. Yeah.
Also, I think growing up in Los Angeles, there was just so like my dad would be going and doing like small blues gigs around LA, and the scene was very different then. I feel like there was a much more like music scene where people would actually go out and play around LA. So I think growing up here too definitely like influenced how much music was around me and how exposed to music I was, which was really cool, opposed to growing up in a small town in the middle of nowhere. It was, and all the bands that you like, they would all come to LA. So, and my parents were really great with taking me to shows all the time and stuff.
Yeah, no, that exposure definitely helps for sure, like to shape you as an artist. So when did you start to feel like comfortable sharing your music and what you were creating with people? Like, how did you approach those first few tracks you were making?
It's interesting. Like when I started the Elohim project, it was kind of the first time I ever wrote about my own anxiety and these things that were going on for me that I thought no one else ever went through. And the first song I put out about anxiety was this song called Xanax, and that was the second song I ever put out, but the first one about like my, I talk about throwing up in it. And to me, these were the most vulnerable and real lyrics I'd ever written in my life. And also to me, I was like, no one's going to understand them because clearly I'm the only person in the world that goes through this and has gone through this since I was, 7. And the messages I would get after that one, and that one I felt was the one that connected me to so many people all over the world and was sort of like, it felt like that really special one because, it's not like it got a ton of streams or anything. It was just, I think, the most meaningful song to people because I think for a lot of, kids out there, it was like the first time they're hearing lyrics about someone saying like, I'm like throwing up outside my car before I even get inside because you're so anxious to go somewhere. So yeah, I think I was like, I'm gonna put out this song, but this is kind of crazy and no one's really gonna relate to it. And it was the actual opposite. And I didn't intend for this project to be so involved in, mental health awareness, but I became so aware once I put that song out that there are so many people hurting out there and so many people feeling completely alone. And I just had no idea. I was totally oblivious to it and going through my own struggles alone. So that sort of the reaction to that song, it didn't go viral or anything. It wasn't like this huge phenomenon at all, but the amount of like real messages that I received from it, and it really inspired me to keep writing about that. And so then I felt more comfortable sharing what I was going through because I knew there was a need for it.
Wow. Yeah. I can't even imagine the amount of responses you probably get. And you have to think too, like, I know we can say what we want about social media, like having negative side effects on people, but on the exact like flip side, the connection like you're able to form with your fans around the world. And I know you have like, you've built out your website as well too, so you can get like feedback
Yeah.
from people. But that must have been an incredible feeling though, to know like you're not alone and people are like resonating with what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, people always, at shows, even though it's been a while,
Yeah.
people, well, I guess not. I mean, even this weekend, I was DJing, and then afterwards, a girl came up to me, beautiful with purple hair, and she came up to me and she started crying, and she was like, "Your music has changed my life. Like, this was the first time that I ever felt understood and not alone." And then another girl came up to me and she was like, "If you haven't heard this today, like, you're here for a reason and you've helped so many people." And I needed it so badly because over these last couple of years, just being, at home, I've been going crazy in my own
Right.
head and thinking like, what am I doing with my life? Like, is this ever going to be back to normal? And I know I have so many friends who are artists, and we're all kind of going through that right now.
Right.
Because it's tough not going out and doing shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I even answered the question.
No, that was perfect. That was perfect. Yeah. I mean, have you felt like how have you healed through like sharing your message with people? And like you said, being vulnerable and writing about your experiences, like how has that helped you work through things?
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So people at shows will come up to me and like, "You saved me, your life saved me." But to me, like, I feel like I have a million times over been saved by, the audience and the listeners, because and the conversation. Like, I was completely alone my entire life, and I've suffered from this since I was 7. And I've gone to extensive trauma therapy, and I take medication, and I've worked so hard, but it's like now I have this full on community of people that at any moment, no matter what time of the day is, we can get on, whether it's like Discord or Instagram or whatever. It's like we all have this place where we can go and not feel alone. And they've all become friends. And so it's like, they'll meet up at shows, and it's just all of a sudden, we have this group of people that understands what we're going through. And, feeling not alone is such a huge part of like healing, and or not even healing. For me, it's like I try to heal, but I don't know that I'll ever be healed necessarily. It's kind of something, it's sort of more figuring out how to function in the world and kind of like get through this. Life is crazy. Life is insane when you really think about it. Like, a human can make another human. Like,
Right.
it's all so weird. And
Yeah.
if you go there, it's like, what are we?
We're in a simulation. Yeah.
For sure. And especially the last couple of years have been just like, oh my gosh. And then being in your own house, then I start feeling like I'm like agoraphobic and I don't want to leave. And then I'm in an airport and I'm like, who are all these people,
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's,
You got to
but
get through
having a
them.
community has been life changing and life saving for me, for sure.
Oh, that's so special. Yeah. Oof, I knew I was going to have like a really deep conversation with you, but I'm like already feeling like people are going to really resonate with this when they hear it. And my mom will always say to me too, because I definitely am, I'm more of like an overwhelmed, like anxiety prone person as well.
Yeah.
And she'll always say to me, like, when have you not like gotten through your list? Like, when have
Yeah.
you not, this happens over and over again and you always find a way, you always find the time. Like, you just need to remind yourself that like you've been through
Yeah.
this before and you're going to get through it again. And I'm always like, okay, she's right.
It's
I know she's
it's
right.
so
But
true. I have to tell myself that too, and I give that advice to other people too. And they're like, I'm going through this, I'm having an episode, and it's like, just remember all the other times you've had episodes, no matter how bad they are, like, you
right.
always get through them, And sometimes I always say you have to go through it to get through it, because you sometimes your body like feels like it needs to purge or whatever and get out whatever you're going through. Um, so yeah, but it's funny because not funny, but no matter how
Yeah.
many times someone can say you're gonna be okay, like once you get to the other side, you're gonna get to the other side. But when you're in it, it's just like there's nothing that can really
Yep.
get you out of it. And
Just got
sometimes
to
you
feel
really
your
do just
feels.
have to like go through it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I mean, when it comes to the performances too, how do you approach everything like now versus when you were first getting started? Has your process changed at all, or do you have a
Totally.
routine that you do to make you prepare?
Yeah. So I really had to kind of go through trial and error of like, okay, what is causing me to have my most freak out before, going on stage or whatever. And something I realized was having people around me. So now I go invisible before a show, and my crew knows this. And when I go invisible, it means I'm not here. Don't talk to me, because if I try to speak, like, I'd potentially throw up. And like, and so I just cannot have anyone around me before going on stage. I have to be totally alone. And, it's tough too, because sometimes you're at shows, like when I was doing the headlining show for Lala this past summer. It was tough because there were so many people in the backstage area, even though it was my headlining show, and it just sent me. And it was my first show back in 2 years, and I was like, and so the next day I did Lollapalooza, and I was like, all right, I need to be completely alone in my green room. And it's not in a bitchy way at all, or like, oh, I'm too good. It's not at all. It's like, I'm gonna freak out if I'm not alone. So the next day, Lollapalooza, I was like, I need to be alone. So I was alone in my trailer before going on stage, and I had the best show ever, and I didn't throw up, and I was like feeling amazing. So
awesome.
Yeah. So I just had to figure out like kind of what worked for me. And
Yeah.
I think that's really important, especially actually a friend of my agent's sister, she got married recently, and she was having really bad anxiety. So I got her number from her brother, and I texted her, and I was like, I'm here for you. Whatever you need, text me. And I was like, make sure when if you're starting to feel like you're going into that anxious place, take time for yourself. Go sit in the bathroom. The bathroom is like always my safe place. Even if I'm at a venue or something and there's no green room, or at a festival, like I'll go sit in the bathroom and just like sit on the toilet and not even going to the bathroom, just sitting there, because that's like the one place I can be really safe. And so I kind of gave her that advice for her wedding day, and yours is coming
awesome.
up.
I'm gonna remind myself to breathe a lot. Yeah.
And like, if you start to get, because that was something I realized, like with my anxiety, was like, if I start to get too like overstimulated, I need to just like center myself and be alone and just close my eyes or whatever. But being alone was very, 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 very important. And she said it saved her on the day, and it was just,
oh, that's so nice. That's so nice of you to be there for her like that too. Yeah. That's an overwhelming situation. But I mean, I love when there are moments too, like in crowds or even in this like culture. I've had interactions with people, like, have people have festival totems. And I remember looking up one time and somebody just wrote like fuck anxiety on their totem. And I was like, that's just such a beautiful message for people to read. And
that's so awesome.
a girl traded me candy at like a meetup that said, she was like, I know you get anxiety, and it just said just breathe on the candy. I was like, that was the nicest thing. She's like, just look at it anytime you need it this weekend. I was like, that's really awesome.
That's the thing with, especially at Electric Forest. I remember that was one of my favorite shows I've ever done, actually. And it was in 2018. So we still had the 2 shows, or the 2 weekends. Those are some of the best shows I've ever done. And the crowd there, and I really realized like the electronic community, there's so much love and empathy, which is a really beautiful and very rare thing, I think, in this world. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, no, people just come together, and it's nice to see people helping each other out as well, and like kind of knowing what you need without like really realizing it. But
exactly.
From the fans' perspective, if they're in the crowd at Lollapalooza or another show that you have coming up, like what can they expect from your live performances?
It is a journey for sure. There are high moments, there are emotional moments. It's very, very visual. Since day one, I've always wanted my show to be a visual and audio experience. So I rework a lot of the songs. I give it my all, so much energy. Now it's so funny when I watch old shows from the very beginning. My hair is over my face and I have a hood, and I'm just standing there really shy, and now I'm just like running around, and it's this madness. But it's really, I think too, the main takeaway is community, and the camaraderie and community and understanding and empathy within the crowd. When I was on my tour that was unfortunately canceled because of COVID, it was the first time I was selling out my headlining shows, and I would have people at the venues coming up to me, people just working at the venue, didn't even know who I was, coming up to me after, like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, the crowd, and it's not the way that they were, like so excited to be there for me at all. It was the community and the kindness, and it made me really proud that these are the types of people at my shows. I've definitely opened for people, and it's been like the opposite, where the crowd is just like mean,
Yep.
nasty people. And so it made me feel really, really proud.
That's good. People attract good vibes. So you're attracting
Yeah.
the right tribe with your music. You're doing
Yeah.
something right. So,
Yay.
oh, that's so cool. I can't wait to get out to like one of your shows or
Aw.
performances. So I'm
Yeah.
stoked.
Whenever, wait, where are you, by the way?
I'm in New Jersey, but most of the
Okay, I
shows I do
knew
are in New
it.
York. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, next time I'm there, I want
Hell
you to come to the
yes.
show and be my guest.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you too, because I know like you just directed Alison Wonderland's
Yeah.
music video, Fuck You Love You. How was that whole experience?
It was so awesome. So this is my first time, my directorial debut.
Mm-hmm.
I like I was saying, like I am obsessed with visuals, and since day one of Elohim, like I've always wanted the visual side of it to be elevated and on a really special artistic level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's because I went that route, a lot of artists were kind of drawn to my project, um and that's been really cool to like to meet all these artists who are way bigger than me, and they're fans of my art and
Mm-hmm.
the integrity behind my art. And so Allison, she's my best friend, but like originally we became friends because we toured together, and she was a fan and she wanted me to go on tour with her. And um so yeah, so now we're super close. I mean, I'm her dog is here with me right
Yeah. Aw,
now.
powerhouse
I
duo. Yeah.
know. But so anyway, so she was like, I want you to do this. And I was like, really? Like, I would love the opportunity to do this because I love visuals. I love directing and coming up with ideas. So yeah, it was really great. And she just trusts me. So she was like, I trust you. And
Mhm.
so for me, it's like I'm obsessed with going on Pinterest and making boards. And so I,
Nice.
picked all the design creative, and it was so cool. And I had my partner Chase O'Black, who he does all my visuals as well. So we worked on it together, which was so cool. And there's a friendship there too, which is really
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And the trust was really beautiful. And I feel so lucky and honored that people trust my vision and trust me with their art, because to all of
Yeah.
us artists, it's like our baby.
Yeah, for sure. No, and that's like such a powerful collaboration as well. And I absolutely love the song. I think it came out so, so good. So
Yeah, it's dope.
everybody can go check that out too. I'm pretty sure that's all up already. So we'll definitely
Yeah.
include links so everyone can see it. And you have a baby coming out as well. You have a new
Yes.
EP dropping called Don't Kick Me. We got to talk about it. How did
Okay,
it
so
all come together?
it's a four-part series basically. So this will be the third installation, and
Mm-hmm.
then the fourth one is going to come out. I've just decided to put it out on my birthday next year, March
Ooh,
17th.
amazing. Are you
That's prob-
Pisces?
I am. I'm such a Pisces.
Hey, I'm Pisces
You
too.
are?
Pisces fam. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I am like through and through. When's your birthday?
I'm right on the cusp. I'm February 21st.
Oh
So I'm
my
like
gosh,
2 days into it, I think. Yeah.
amazing. So you're
Oh, that's
Pisces,
awesome. All the artists are
Pisces,
Pisces. Yeah.
Pisces.
I just interviewed Monday Nostalgics, and she's also a Pisces as well.
Oh, cool. Oh my gosh, yeah. Allison actually always laughs. She's always like, "You're such a Pisces." Because
Right.
everything I do is just like so emotional.
Yeah. It's like,
But
how many times did I cry this week? Oh,
I
let's just
know.
check. Yeah.
I know, it's so wild.
Yeah.
Um, Wait, what was the question?
I know. I'm like, I
We
distracted
got to
myself. Oh, the
the
EP.
EP. The EP.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a four-part series, Journey to the Center of Myself. And it kind of became this over the pandemic. Like I had an album done when I was touring, but then the pandemic hit and I was like, I'm just gonna make so much music right now. And I did
Mhm.
make so much. And so the one coming out is sort of the darker side of this journey to the center of myself. Like I wrote a
Mhm.
song about going through a best friend breakup, which was really, really hard for me. And I had never written about it or talked about it. And I didn't talk to her for 3 years, and it was really, really hard for me.
Mhm.
And so I wrote a song about that. And then I wrote about growing up with kind of nothing, and that's a song called Pyramid. And but like making something out of nothing kind of.
Mhm.
Um and yeah, so this one, part three, is and then there's a song Don't Kick Me. It's there it's sort of a a little bit of the darker one, and then part 4, which I'm planning to do on my birthday next year, I produced in total isolation in my bedroom during the pandemic, completely alone. So that one I'm like freaking out, so excited for. But yeah, this one comes out this week, which is so wild. I'm very excited.
Oh, I can't wait to see everybody's response to it. And it's probably such a good feeling to get it out there as well.
That's the best feeling, because for me, it's like I made the music so long. By the time music comes out, you've sat with it so much. You've gone through the mixing process, the mastering process, and like heard it a trillion times. So I find like a new love for the music once it's out, because you see it through other people's eyes and ears who haven't heard it ever. So that's kind of like the best feeling ever.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, you're so used to it now because you've been doing this for a while, but with like your family, or since you're writing about your experiences and then probably people like close to you, what was their like reaction in the beginning when they started to hear these lyrics like about your life that you're sharing?
So my parents were very understanding, I would say, like, because I think it was more the like, wow, I didn't realize that you suffered that bad. And then part 2 of it was, wow, I didn't realize that other people went through what you were going through. Because so often, like when you're young and you're going through these severe panic attacks, a lot of times parents, they don't know, either it's like, oh, you're my kid, so like there's no way you have that, I don't have it, or like they're being dramatic and stuff like that. And I know so many people have come to me and said, because of you, I told my parents that I have depression or anxiety or panic disorder, or because of you, I told my parents I need therapy. And I wish that when I was, that age, early teens, that like I had, somebody influencing me to do that, and that I had the guts to go to my parents and say, I think I need therapy. But that didn't even cross my mind, because it was just like, oh, she's like dramatic. Oh, she's like, attached to her, she just has like attachment issues or whatever, and so it was really cool, because I think they understand me more, and seeing that there's a whole world out there that also is struggling with this, it was like, oh, I guess it validated, what I went through. And other kids have said that too. It's like, my parents never believed me, but so I showed them your videos and your music and you talking through this, and it, they understand me more because of that, which is really cool. So yeah, I think they understood me more, which is cool.
I was just going to say, it's a deeper understanding of their child, and probably a different level of closeness too.
Yeah.
Hearing it in that way.
I'm sure they felt, feelings of guilt as well. Like, gosh, I wish that we had seen this. But it's cool. It's good to be able to recognize it now.
Yeah, no. And you're helping so many people. Thank you for sharing that. Like, you're genuinely inspiring me to like be more open with things. And I mean, the one thing about Gen Z and like some of the younger generation is I feel like they're very woke about like therapy and things like this, because it's spoken about way more often than it definitely used to be, or like when we were in high school or middle school and things like that. So I hope
even just the LGBTQ plus community, that openness in the the younger generation right now is so beautiful, because I mean, it's just it's so beautiful. The wokeness is good.
Yes. I have to use their terminology. I have just a couple more questions here before I let you go, but looking forward to 2022, like what is on the horizon for you? You're gonna have part 4 coming out, but shows, anything else coming up?
Yeah, I have some really cool collaborations. I would say, but I'm not going to, just in case they don't want me to say, like the other collaborator.
Yeah.
But very cool collaboration. And working on some right now. And my Journey to the Center of Myself part 4 coming on my birthday, I'm so excited about, because it's the most special piece of art, and it feels like a piece of art. There's not going to be any singles off of it. A lot of it is instrumental, actually. And it's definitely one of those things that you want to listen to from start to finish. So that's like one of the most proud pieces I've ever made, because I did it totally alone. And I even listen to it now, I'm like, I don't even know, how did I do this? I feel like I blacked out the whole experience, because it was like in the thick of the
Yeah.
pandemic, like early days. And I
Hmm.
remember like we'd be in masks and I'd finish one. I'd be like, okay, I want to mix it right away. And so my mixing engineer, I'd be like, meet me at the studio in San Monica. Like,
Right.
and he would, and we'd be like masked up, taking COVID.
We are really genuine. We are really going to look at this in like 30, 40 years from now. And it's just going to like
Bizarre.
simulation.
I
So
know.
yeah,
It's
it's
so
kind of
weird.
cool to have these like moments frozen in time though
It
too.
is,
I feel
yes.
that way about YouTube. I'm like, I have some YouTube videos on my channel a lot. It's just a weird time to be alive.
Yeah, it's very, very weird. And then I'm doing Ultra and then hopefully a bunch more shows. It's a lot of the festivals are still making up for 2020. So
Hmm.
it's difficult because I did all the festivals 2018, 2019. Those were like my big festival
Yeah.
years. Coachella, Electric Forest, Bonnaroo, like
Mm.
Hangout Fest, like all of those. I did all of those. And then now Coachella this year is still making up for 2020,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
is like so crazy. So a lot of the festival stuff for me probably won't be until 2023 because there so
Sure.
many of the festivals are because like it pandemic hit like March 13th is when I flew home, and then most of the
Mm.
festivals are within like starting then till like
Yeah.
end of summer. So
Yep.
and even through the fall. So yeah, so they're still making up for 2020, which is just bizarre.
I know. I remember people saying that like in 2020, they were like live events industry, probably 23 will be a little bit more like that's when it'll probably like really, really be in full
Yeah.
swing again. And I was at the time, I was like, I can't wait that long.
I know in
But
my mind, I remember my brother, as soon as stuff got shut down, he was like, it's going to be at least 2 years. And I was like, there's no way. And I said to my friend, I was like, they'll never cancel Coachella.
yeah.
And now Coachella hasn't happened for 2 years straight, which is so wild.
I literally said because Electric Forest just announced their lineup and it was supposed to be my first time in 2019. I was like,
No
I've
way.
gone into my 30s in the time that this
Oh
festival has
my
come back.
gosh.
I bought it at 28. I will be
That's
31 by the
so
time the festival
crazy.
comes
That's
back.
so weird. Well, I was
Yeah.
thinking too, some people were in high school when the pandemic started.
Yeah. No, I know.
It's so wild.
It is so bizarre. But my last like little speed round I have here, because this episode I believe is gonna be coming out next week. And at the end of every year I do like a best of dance music where I like recap
Cool.
what 2021 like represented. So I'd
Hmm.
love to get your hot takes
Okay.
here. So who you can name more than one, but favorite artists of 2021.
Okay. So Jacques Green, I became such a big fan of him, and he actually did a remix of my song "I'm Lost," and it's
Wow.
so freaking good. Like I listen to it so much, I don't even relate it to being my own song. So Jacques Green, I'm obsessed with. Alison Wonderland is amazing, and she keeps putting out really meaningful art. And she has
Mhm.
an album coming out next year that's insane. Um, and then yeah, I'll say those two.
Perfect. Okay. Favorite album release.
I have to say my project Journey to the Center of Myself, Volume 1, 2, and now 3
Yeah.
is coming.
Perfect. Okay. Favorite track of the year.
Okay, so I discovered because I started DJing, I've discovered so much more music because I realized the sort of
Mhm.
the thing with DJing is that you always have to constantly be finding new music.
Mhm.
And so I randomly found this song called Joy, I think it's pronounced Joy, Joi, by Funkin' Matt, and it is
Mm.
so good. And I put it in my DJ set, and it's amazing.
Okay. I love Funkin' Matt, so I'm gonna have to look
Oh, you've heard of
that
them?
up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay, amazing. I was like, I don't know who this is, but this is insane.
Yep. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna probably put this in the list so everyone can find new
Yes.
music. Any favorite collaborations the past year?
So the favorite collaboration is Nitty Gritty and Martin Hort in a song called Want You. And I've been like obsessively texting Ricky Nitty Gritty being like, this song has been in my head for a week and I'm obsessed with it. Can we please make a song? He's like, of course. So I'm like sending him acapellas to literally this
Oh, that's
morning.
sick. Oh my God. That would blow my mind. That's gonna be on the
I hope
collaborations
it
for next year.
happens. Yes, I hope so. But yeah, he's super
Hell
talented and
yeah.
he's such a nice guy. I met him actually at the Alison Wonderland Red Rock show, and he's just like so sweet.
That's so cool. Okay. We're excited about that. And then last two, favorite label of the year.
I'm not like the hugest fan of labels, but um XL and Ninja Tune just kind of like they seem like top tier labels that always, they're very much about the art, which is cool in my eyes. I think they would be like too cool for school to like if I ever saw the people in a room.
Yeah.
They're like almost too cool. But they consistently put out like really artistic music, which is cool.
Hell yes. Okay. And then put some people on our radar, favorite new or emerging artists this year.
Well, new as in like I only found out about Mind Chatter this year and I'm obsessed. And then Fred again also found out about this year and he's so good too. But yeah, Mind Chatter I'm obsessed with. Have you listened to them at all?
I don't think I have. I'm
Oh
not
my
sure.
gosh, okay, that's great. That's the whole
New to
point,
me now,
right?
yeah, exactly.
They're so good. You have to check them out. I've been discovering so much music just from putting together DJ sets, which has been so cool. And now I understand why like DJs know so much music.
Yeah, right. It's ridiculous.
Because you have to, and like you need to just have so much music. So yeah, that's been really, really like probably the coolest part about learning how to DJ was just finding out so much great electronic music that's out there.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to put this list together. And I'm so seriously like all the success coming your way is so well deserved. And I can't wait to hear the music. And yeah, I have a playlist, New Music Friday. I do every Friday. So
sick.
EP is going right in that.
Hell yeah,
that comes out. Of course. Elohim, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Everyone go show love and support. And yeah, hang tight. I'll be back with some EDM news.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty, you guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed that interview with Elohim. Again, this is so cool. It was so fucking cool meeting her. I think she's incredible. I cannot wait to see her live. But I just really, really respect her a lot and really appreciate the message that she's sharing. It's amazing that she speaks so openly about mental health. It's so cool the connection that she has with her fans. It's really important to talk about. So like the fact that she got to come on this platform and speak to me and get to meet you guys and everything, like it's really, really cool. And it was a pinch me moment for me. So I'm so excited to finally share this episode with you. But again, go stream her new EP, check her out live. All her links will be down below if you want to check her out. With all that being said, let's dive into some news because I've got a couple announcements here. So first and foremost, there was an announcement that the Zook group in Las Vegas just booked a deadmau5 residency. It's a Cube residency, actually. So he's going to be bringing the Cube, the whole thing, the whole performance. And Zook is a newer nightclub that's in Vegas. So it says the club is a 36,000 square foot space, all with LED technology. I think this is in the new nightclub there. I mean, the new hotel, because it's called Resorts World, is the new space that they built, a new casino. So anyway, definitely check that out. Let me see when it starts because, it kicks off January 5th, 2022. So if you guys want to go see deadmau5, you'll be able to see him in Vegas. We have a lineup announcement. So Perukaville has slowly been dripping some of the artists that are going to be playing next year. The festival is July 22nd through the 24th. And I believe a lot of the festivals in Europe haven't been able to happen the last few years. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes well. But they've already announced Armin van Buuren, Fisher, Yellow Claw, Nervo, Purple Disco Machine, to name a few. We also had some news. Forbidden Kingdom. I'm not sure if I mentioned this last week, but Forbidden Kingdom was officially announced. And the dates are going to be May 6th and 7th. And it is going to be back in Orlando again. So my base heads, you guys can get on that. We also have a Brownies and Lemonades spring break, which is going to be happening in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. This is a pollen event. So you guys know they're doing a lot of these like trips and excursions in the Caribbean. So they already announced that they're going to have Alison Wonderland, Louis the Child, R.L. Grime. And then you'll also have Dombresky, Peekaboo, Dr. Fresh, Wax Motif, Sunburn, to name a few. A lot of like the Brownies and Lemonades artists that you guys know and love. And then we also have a lineup from Hangout Music Festival. So we haven't had Hangout in a while too, because it was also canceled the last 2 years. So Hangout happens right on the beach. I believe it's in Alabama. And this is going to be May 20th to the 22nd. This is an all genre festival. So you guys are going to get rap, rock, dance music, country. Like it kind of reminds me of like a Governor's Ball, or Lollapalooza festival. But headliners are Post Malone, Fall Out Boy, Kane Brown, Zedd, Halsey, Doja Cat, Millennium. You've got Tame Impala, Megan Thee Stallion, Louis the Child, and a bunch of other artists. So you've got that going on as well. I also saw on EDM.com, we did have an announcement that a bunch of Elements Festival attendees did file a class action lawsuit against the music festival, seeking $5 million in damages. So we've spoken about this on the festival. We all know what happened. Elements Festival had a lot of issues with the weather this year. The event was taking place over Labor Day weekend, and it led to people waiting for hours on end. It wasn't really safe situation. I believe they didn't have roads that emergency vehicles could get in and out of, and there was food and water. Like people weren't prepared to be waiting that long, and it was like not a good situation. So there was officially a lawsuit filed against the festival. I know that Elements is going to be switching locations next year, and they're trying to address all of the issues that they had this year. So hopefully everything goes well at the next event. They're also moving it up to August. I believe it's in mid-August next year. So that's everything that's going on with that. And then unfortunately, I have some very sad news, which was really hard to hear on Friday. Charles I, who is an electronic artist, unfortunately passed away at the age of 25 years old. I do not believe that we have a cause of death yet, but I do know that he was found, I believe, in a hotel room. So that was really, really hard to hear. I'm so sorry to any of the fans listening, friends, family who were touched by him and his life and his music. It's incredibly sad to lose somebody that young who is so talented. So my heart is with you guys. I'm so sorry that you guys are going through that, and like respect to his family and friends right now who need privacy. So sorry to share that news, but that was really, really hard to hear. I know the whole electronic music scene reacted to that this past Friday. So we want to send our condolences out to them. And I think that's all I have for you guys. The only other thing I saw too, we had, I don't believe it's officially confirmed yet, but there are reports from major news outlets that Travis Scott was removed from the Coachella lineup. He was on the original one, I think back in 2020. But obviously with everything that happened with Astroworld, I believe he's being dropped from a lot of things. Other than that, at the time I'm recording this, the Buku lineup is not out today. I'm recording on Monday the 13th. However, I believe it's dropping tomorrow. So go check it out. It's already out by the time you guys are hearing this. It's a really cool festival, so I'm excited for them, and I can't wait to see what they have. But with all that being said, you guys, we've made it to the end of the episode. Thank you again so much for being here. Here's a couple quick things you can do if you are enjoying Rave Culture Cast. You can always connect with us online at raveculturecast on Instagram, Twitter. We're on TikTok. We are on YouTube if you want to check out the full episodes on video, and we have highlights as well. We have an incredible Facebook group community with over 700 members. We've got a Discord channel, so there are a million ways to connect with us. But what would be a huge help is if you would share a link with a friend today. Make this your Instagram stories, tell somebody about it, all of the things. Word of mouth is how we get this podcast out there. So thank you guys so much. Go show Elohim some love, support, stream her music, tag her, tell her Rave Culture Cast sent you over there. And thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have an incredible week. And next week, we're going to be back with another amazing interview. So I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.